Hey everybody, thanks for joining us here on 9 News Watch. I'm Chris Bianchi with 9 News Sports Director Rod Mackey. We're going to take a look ahead to the Broncos game coming up on Sunday against Jacksonville, and also look back on a decisive win, Rod. I mean,
who guaranteed that? This guy. What did I tell you? You thought the Mackey jinx was going to get him. I knew it.
You called the Broncos' first win in the month of September since what, 2018 or 2017?
8 straight setbacks until that one.
And so it wasn't just a win, it was a road domination, right?
It was against a team that, let's be honest, isn't going to be that good this year, and that's the way I'm looking at the Jacksonville game, and that's the way I'm looking at the Jets game, which will actually be at home. So as we talked about before, you have to start 3-0, especially after winning that one. The Giants one was, honestly, Chris, that was probably the toughest challenge just because it was the season opener. Obviously, all kinds of emotion the day after the anniversary of 9/11. The Broncos overcame everything. Slow start. It was 3-0, almost going into the end of the halftime. They scored right before the end of the half for that second touchdown, which was great to make it 10-3 going in there. Then they started clicking after that. Looked really good.
Jovial mood at Dove Valley this week. Von Miller on Thursday speaking to the media and, as usual, cracking some jokes, but also kind of saying some nice things about Teddy Bridgewater, too.
He was great. He talked about how he hasn't felt as confident in the quarterback since Peyton was gone. He actually kind of said, I didn't mean for that to get out. He forgot that he was mic'd up, so that kind of leaked out. He doesn't want to throw other guys under the bus because, remember, there's been 11 different starting quarterbacks from Peyton to Teddy. Teddy's the 11th one, so there's been all kinds. So when he says something like that, in a way he's kind of taking a shot at the other 10, but it's okay. They're playing well. Vaughn was the funniest thing for me today, or the most interesting things, he was talking about sacks. And, these guys will tell you winning matters most, but let's be honest here. It's not the only thing that matters. He talked about how Draymond Jones almost was mad. He's like, Vaughn took one of my sacks. And then he started talking about how that's happened with him and Chubb before, how Bradley will get a sack, and he thought it was his. But it's okay because he's got to be nice to Bradley. And then he told the story about how way back when Shelby Harris got a sack, half a sack credited with Vaughn. And Vaughn actually, they can file a thing that one of the coaches, Bill Kolar, can file something that says, let's reevaluate the sack. So Vaughn ended up getting the whole sack and took the half a sack away from Shelby. So you wouldn't think these stats matter for these players, but they do. It was really kind of a behind-the-scenes, Vaughn letting us behind the curtain stuff today, or on Thursday. It was very, very entertaining.
Well, for contract negotiations, I mean, 11 sacks versus 10.
Well, he's also thinking, Vaughn wants to end up, he wants like Peyton, like John. He wants to be a Hall of Famer. He's been to Canton a couple times for these. He was there for Champ Bailey's induction and Mr. B's induction. He wants to end up there. The more sacks you have, the better off it is. Vaughn also was talking about all he'd prefer to do is just rush. Let me rush the quarterback. Let me get to the quarterback. Let's pad those stats. Winning does matter most, but sacks are nice.
Also, a good quarterback play is nice, and something we're not used to in Denver since those Peyton Manning years. Teddy Bridgewater, I believe, is a 116 quarterback rating.
I think it was 115, but either way, it was the highest in the NFL, which is
from
fantastic.
A Broncos quarterback after Peyton Manning,
who was making things happen on busted coverage, on scrambling. There were a couple mistakes made by Broncos. He would go back to those guys. KJ Hamler with a brutal drop. Albert O with a turnover. He goes back to those guys. They make big things happen. So we're seeing why this team has such confidence and Teddy has such a likability, because Teddy truly is all about team. A lot of these other guys will say they're all about team. Teddy really, winning matters. That's really all that matters to this guy, and we're seeing it. It'll be interesting now on Sunday because you face a Jacksonville team that got smoked by the Texans, who are supposed to be terrible. Phillip Lindsay, shout out, by the way, got a touchdown for Houston. That was nice to see. Trevor Lawrence, the number 1 pick, who's going to be special. This is a good time to get him. Just his second game. He didn't look good in the opener. So let's see if that Denver D can get after him and beat the Jags and start off 2-0. Early morning game, which is always kind of an iffy thing for the Broncos in the past, but I'm feeling pretty good about their chances there.
Do we have a guarantee?
I don't want to guarantee it until next week when I say I guaranteed it, which might be a little bit of a lie.
You're going to for the Jets game?
Yeah, I'll have to, no. I'll say that I guaranteed the Jacksonville game, even though maybe I didn't quite guarantee it.
I got it.
I'll lie. But this thing's good. This is good luck because we did this last week and they got to win. So we'll just keep doing it until they lose, and then I might have to blow you off and not do it anymore.
Do we get a score at least, though?
Honestly, I will say Broncos win 27-13. A big win. 8 points more than the spread.
Wow.
Spread is 6.
It's 20. I think that was the exact scoreline from last week.
Oh, see, there's a good score.
If you get back-to-back, boy, I mean, we're going to call you Rod
As long as they, as long as they win, we're good. But I think the Denver D is going to shut them down, and I think Teddy and the boys will be able to put some points on these guys. I really do. It's a good matchup for them.
I mean, it is a good matchup, and again, you've got a fairly weak team, you would think, in Jacksonville.
Although we said that to Dalton Reisner on the huddle, and he doesn't like that. And Peyton used to get on us for that all the time. This is not college football when they're gimme games. So media, fans can look at this and say, easy win for the Broncos. They are quick to point out that's not the case. Several of the guys at the podium, Dalton Reisner on the huddle, saying, hey, there were all kinds of little mistakes made. The Texans game shouldn't have been the way it was. Don't overlook. We can overlook because we're not playing the game, but the Broncos won't overlook the Jags. So,
all right, there you have it. Rod Mackey put it in permanent marker, 27-13. Broncos.
Maybe erasable, but not quite a Sharpie, but pretty close.
Permanent marker it is, and 27-13. The Broncos will win back-to-back weeks by that scoreline. Rod, thanks for joining us. 9 News Sports Director Rod Mackey giving us a preview ahead to the Broncos game coming up on Sunday against Jacksonville. As you mentioned, it is an early kick, 11:05. Mountain Time on Sunday morning, and of course we'll be tracking it for you through the weekend.
Could be raining there too, by the way, weather guy.
That's right. It could be. We're going to be tracking the possibility for some rain there, and that, of course, throws a total wrench.
Well, it's funny. Dalton Reisner on the huddle said he wants it to rain. That's what they want. That's because then they have to run the ball, and that's what the offensive linemen want. They want to run the ball. They want to, be the force in front. But then Albert O was saying, I hope it doesn't rain because it's a lot harder to catch a wet football than a dry one. So we'll see.
And got a star rookie running back for the Broncos as well. So you got a lot of different. Okay, so
they look good.
Broncos got a bunch of different ways they can win. Rod says they're going to win, so it's going to happen. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Watch.